Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are journeying into a really iconic place steeped in tragedy and mystery.
Yeah, a valley where legends whisper of a lost princess, a terrible curse, and of course, a fabulous lost treasure.
Exactly. We're not just exploring some random fictional spot. We're actually looking at a foundational piece of tabletop role-playing history.
That's right, we're plunging into the Palace of the Silver Princess, Dungeon Module B3, originally published by TSR way back in 1981.
Wow, 81. And this module, it really holds a special place for a lot of gamers, doesn't it? It was designed specifically as an intro, right?
Yeah, an introduction to the Dungeons & Dragons basic rules, and not just for players, but for beginner dungeon masters too.
So for this deep dive, our source is the original PDF file of the module itself. We're going straight to the text.
Trying to understand its design, its secrets, and, what it offered to that early generation of D&D players and DMs.
And our mission today is basically to guide you through this classic adventure. We'll unpack the lore, look at some unique mechanics.
Explore some of its most memorable encounters and monsters. And some of them are definitely memorable, maybe even a bit bizarre.
Oh, I bet. We want to see what made B3 stand out back then, and maybe how its ideas still echo, even in games we play today, like modern 5th edition D&D.
Yeah, see what resonates.
Okay, let's kick this off then. First things first, what exactly is B3 at its core? I mean, the module itself is pretty clear about its purpose.
It is, yeah. Right on the cover. And inside, too, it says it's an introductory module for character levels 1 to 3. So right away, it's setting expectations, a starting point.
And that introductory focus, it's not just about the character level, is it? They really seem to have designed it thinking about beginners.
Absolutely. Beginning players and DMs. It's structured to teach someone how to run the game, not just play in it. The module calls itself a framework on which to build a whole dungeon complex.
A framework. I like that. It's like saying, here are the bones, now you flesh it out.
Exactly. And that idea is key to its whole design. B3 doesn't try to spell everything out. It gives you the foundation and actively encourages you to build on it, to customize it.
It actually says DMs should use it as the basis for a whole campaign, right? Suggesting you can open up blocked passages, add new levels later on.
Explicitly. After the players explore the initial areas, the DM is encouraged to open up the blocked passageways and add new and challenging dungeon levels. It's built for expansion.
And that ties into the blank rooms, too. There are quite a few areas just left empty.
Intentionally blank. The module says this is so DMs can stock these rooms with their own monsters, treasures, or traps.
Which is fantastic, especially for a beginner module back then. It tells a new DM, hey, you have creative input here. This isn't just a script.
Right, and it gets around the problem of players potentially reading the module ahead of time. Even if they know the map, they won't know what your version has in those empty spots.
Smart. And they even give examples at the end, don't they? Like ideas for stocking those rooms.
Yeah, a little helping hand for that novice DM. Gives them inspiration.
They also talk about balancing encounters, specifically with the new monsters and treasures that are detailed at the back of the book.
Good point. There's a warning that those should not be used until the entire module has been explored by the players in the main areas.
And the reason is pretty clear. Keep it balanced for those low-level, first to third level characters.
Exactly. Introducing, say, a really tough new monster or a super valuable treasure too early could make the whole thing unbalanced and perhaps too difficult for the group. It shows they were thinking about that learning curve.
So it's not meant to be rigid. It's a guideline to use as a creative basis for your own campaign. It's teaching how to run an adventure, not just giving you one to run by rote.
Yeah, without being overwhelming for the DM or too punishing for the players. It's like, here's your first adventure, but also here's how you start thinking like a world builder.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And that leads us perfectly into the lore, the legends, the world-building aspect. It really does give you a history.
It does. It doesn't just drop you at a dungeon door. It sets the scene, starting with that really evocative legend of Princess Argenta.
Oh yeah, the description of the valley. It sounds almost like a fairy tale paradise at first. Rich, fertile valley filled with gentle creatures, a palace of every type of marble known, exotic plants, clear water, sparkling mica.
Almost too perfect, right?
Yeah.
And the people reflected that peace. You had friendly dwarves mining silver and rubies nearby, elves crafting beautiful things. Cooperation, harmony.
And that harmony led to the discovery of My Lady's Heart, this perfect apple-sized ruby, found by dwarves, polished by elves.
A symbol of that peace and beauty.
Yeah.
So Princess Argenta throws this grand masquerade ball to celebrate it, invite everyone.
This is where it turns dark, isn't it? There's a guest at the ball, Someone interested in the ruby, and kind of creepily interested in the princess, too. His eyes roamed freely to the princess.
Yeah, definitely a bad sign. And after the ball, two brave souls, a dwarf and an elf, challenge this guy. The module just says they were never seen or heard from again. Just like that. Gone. A really stark consequence.
Whew.
And then the dragon arrives. Now the terror. A red dragon was seen in the skies, burning the valley, terrorizing the people. Total destruction.
And witnesses claim they saw a man in silver and blue armor riding on its back.
The Silver Warrior. And the module adds this haunting detail. Some folks still claim they see the dragon and rider, like a ghostly image, over the valley today.
Wow. So the valley now is just dead. The palace is a ruin. And the princess?
Unknown, carried away, killed, still alive somewhere. The module leaves it open. But the legend that draws adventurers in is the ruby. My lady's heart is supposedly still hidden somewhere in those ruins.
That's the main hook, then. Find the ruby, maybe find out what really happened.
Exactly. And the module doesn't stop there. It gives you geographical context, too. It places the valley in the Princess Argenta setting.
Which became a pretty major D&D setting later on, right?
It did. And within that region, it details the nearby barony of Galuvia, ruled by Lady Demise.
Oh, Lady Demise. The module does not paint a pretty picture of her. Ruthless, filled with terror. It even says she killed her husband for power.
Straight up says it. She has these strict laws, like men needing female escorts after sunset. She apparently only fears her female commanders and her elite male fighters who serve as her personal bodyguards and paramours.
Yikes. Complex lady. And she claims descent from the Silver Princess.
Yes, and the module notes that claim is actually true. But the rumor that she's offering a big reward for my lady's heart, that's marked as false.
Ooh, interesting. So she might have a legitimate claim, but her motives for wanting the ruby are probably not about restoring the valley's former glory. Sets up some nice potential conflict.
Definitely a long-term plot hook right there. What would she do with it?
The module also sketches out other nearby places, right? To flesh out the region.
Yeah, quick descriptions. Dead Mule, occupied by Galuvian soldiers. Ensal, a quiet farming village. Thorold, raising horses for Galuvia but chaotic. Mir, a halfling village near the Misty Swamp, a refuge for escapees paying taxes for protection. Velders, suffering raids despite supposedly being under Galuvia's protection.
Just little seeds for a DM to grow into a whole region.
Exactly. Plus, the Moorfowl Mountains, old dwarven mines now home to evil creatures, shielding the area from the Misty Swamp. And the Thunder Mountains' perpetual storms, rumored evil wizardess in a hollow oak. More adventure sites waiting.
Let's talk about that Misty Swamp, though. That sounds particularly interesting. Ever-present mist. Unknown contents.
Very atmospheric. Legends abound dwarves making Antirian brandy there and an evil wizard in a black tower. Even weird thunderstorms without lightning in winter.
But the really wild part is the magic, isn't it? Magic users and elves had best stay clear.
Because their spells go haywire. The module lists possibilities. Backfire, fail completely, cast a different spell, triple the effect, good or bad.
Yeah.
Make you glow, or the big one.
Transform you into a creature.
Yeah, transform the caster or someone nearby into a random creature with hit dice equal to their level. Lasts 24 hours.
Whoa. But the DM picks the effect, right? And it says no instant death result.
Right. It's about creating bizarre, memorable complications, not just a TPK zone. Pure magical chaos.
And there's that cleric's tale to really sell the danger.
Oh, yeah. The sole survivor talking about fighting creatures made of colored mist, formless things, and those strange-looking creatures with 3 heads, 3 arms, and 3 legs.
The Ubus. We'll get back to them.
And the punchline. Their elf tried to cast magic missile and suddenly changed into a rhinoceros and wandered away. The cleric died of fright later.
An elf turning into a rhinoceros? That's peak B3 weirdness right there. Unforgettable. Makes the swamp sound genuinely alien and dangerous.
For sure. Another really interesting piece of world building is the Tinker and his daughter.
Lamdamon, the old jovial tinker with white hair and steel blue eyes. And Zipporah, his shy, rather plain daughter with fiery red hair.
They travel around in this custom-built wagon that can float, which is pretty cool in itself.
And Lamdamon's shop inside the wagon is full of oddities, old clocks, broken vases, weird sword blades, a blue orb, red dragon teeth. When asked, he just says once.
Very mysterious. But the real clues are upstairs in their wagon. Lamdamon has a suit of silver armor hidden and riding gear that looks way too big for a normal horse.
While Zipporah keeps herbs and a dagger under her pillow against nightmares. Maybe significant, maybe not.
But the module specifically points out Lamdamon as a potential special NPC. He travels, hears things, knows information others don't. A great rumor source.
And it hints heavily about who he might really be, right? Giving the DM permission to change details or run with the hints.
Absolutely. The silver armor, the oversized riding gear,
Yeah,
it strongly suggests he could be the silver warrior from legend, living in disguise.
but it doesn't confirm it, leaves it for the DM. He could be a key ally, a tragic figure, really brilliant NPC integration.
Totally. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about some of the core mechanics and dungeon features that B3 lays out, maybe more explicitly than later modules.
Like the drowning rules. Very specific.
Yeah, for beginners, knowing the risk of falling in water and heavy armor is important. Clear percentage chances. Plate mail, 95% chance of drowning. Chain, 70%. Leather, 25%. No armor, only 5%.
Simple, direct. And it reminds the DM to adjust based on the situation, like if someone's a good swimmer. Much more direct than, say, modern 5e's constitution saves and exhaustion levels for drowning.
Right, it's a different approach. The module also really emphasizes rumors, not just flavor, but clues, giving players a base to work from.
And it suggests turning the main legend and the descriptions of the surrounding lands into rumors players can pick up.
And it provides a list with true-false or true-false tags for the DM. Super helpful for a beginner. We already mentioned Lady Demise's true claim versus false reward.
There's also stuff like a false rumor of treasure better than the ruby, or the cleric Catherine Domus being real, true, but not caring about riches, false. And that great foreshadowing rumor about a fighter named Aliega seen with dwarves and a cleric,
Yeah.
maybe a descendant.
Yeah, good stuff. And suggesting using the Tinker to spread rumors or even making rumor sheets or newsletters, it encourages thinking about how information flows in the game world.
Okay, what about getting through doors and gates? Portcullises.
Specific mechanics again. Iron-barred gates need a total party strength score to lift, like 30 for a double, 20 for single, or a knock spell.
And lifting it physically is risky, right? A 1 on a d6 means it crashes down immediately.
Yep, makes a racket too, with a 1 in 10 chance of attracting wandering monsters. A knock spell is safer, keeps it up for 6 rounds. Clear rules for interacting with the environment.
And wandering monsters themselves, how does B3 handle those?
Simple system. Check every other turn by rolling 1d6. O1 means an encounter. Separate tables for the entrance level and upper level.
Entrance level has things like acolytes, bandits, kobolds, orcs, skeletons, a cave bear. Pretty standard low-level stuff.
Upper level mixes it up a bit more. Goblins, ubus, there they are again. Bandits, berserkers, hobgoblins, even a gelatinous cube.
And it suggests sticking to the basic game lists until the party has explored most of the palace, right? Kind of easing them into the weirder B3 specific stuff.
Exactly. Tiered introduction again.
Finally, how does it explain reading the adventure text itself, the area descriptions?
It breaks it down very clearly for a new DM. Each numbered area has 2 parts: boxed text and unboxed text.
Boxed text is what you read aloud to the players, what they see, hear, smell.
Right, the sensory input. The unboxed text is just for the DM, monster stats, treasure locations, trap details, encounter notes, hidden stuff.
And this structure highlights those blank spaces again, where the DM adds their own content. It gives that example of room 1F.
Yeah, an empty room description in the boxed text. But the unboxed DM notes explain. There are skeletons behind a weak wall. Pulling an iron ring collapses it. Trap. And there's some minor treasure. Parchment fragment, copper. Shows the DM how to fill in the blanks.
It also mentions that if an entry lists multiple traps, the DM can group them or spread them out, more flexibility.
And it reminds the DM not to just read the box text like a robot, but to paraphrase, describe, use it as a guide, like describing bath oil pearls as little colored balls until players investigate. It's about role-playing the DM.
Okay, solid foundation. Let's actually walk through some of these rooms now. Starting on the entrance level, EL.
We begin at EL1, the grand entrance, blocked immediately by that massive and foreboding double portcullis. Needs 30 strength points to lift. Sets a challenge right away.
And the atmosphere, dust, smell of decay, and those sounds of pain, fright, and hunger ending in screams and silence. Super creepy.
But it's a trick. The DM notes reveal it's just 4 enchanted voices making those noises. A psychological game right at the entrance to unnerve the players.
Clever. Moving in, maybe you find EL1C, the purple moss room. The description sounds intense. Collapsing walls, dampness, moss everywhere, flickering torches, heavy air, a sweet smell.
That sweet smell is the danger. It's a sleeping gas from the moss. Failsafe versus spells, you fall asleep.
And then the moss eats you.
Quickly cover the body and devour it in less than an hour. leaves no trace. It's vulnerable only to fire, no treasure, just a deadly environmental trap. In 5e terms, probably con save versus sleep, then ongoing damage while unconscious.
Nasty. Another unique hazard is EL1D, the bubble pool cave. Smell like fresh water, big gray stone pool, occasional bubbles. Seems okay.
Until you disturb the water, then the bubbles attack. Tiny AC, half a hit die, but they have a paralyzing touch.
And if they paralyze you in the water?
30% chance they engulf you, sink down, and you suffocate in 2-5 rounds. Weird monsters born from discarded potions.
Yeah.
You need to kill the bubble to free the person.
If you beat them and drain the pool, there's treasure at the bottom. 133 gold and a silver wolf head ring worth 33 gold. And the bubbles come back unless you dry the pool out completely.
Let's jump to EL5, the storeroom. Sounds boring. Rotten grain, old brooms, vinegar barrels.
But if you check the barrels, pickled snakes.
Pickled snakes, why? Who knows? Horrible smell, no monsters, no treasure. Just pickled snakes.
Yeah.
A weird, memorable detail. Adds flavor. Maybe makes players paranoid about sticking their hands in barrels.
EL6 is the barracks. Dusty bedrolls, lockers, outlines of weapons on the walls. Typical ruined guard room.
Key things here. Only check for wandering monsters once while searching, and you might find 3 strange gold coin-like octagons. Valuable, and they act as a key later at EL14.
EL7 is pretty grim. Dead soldiers, beheaded, heads lined up on the wall. Bodies already looted.
Yeah, gruesome scene. The important clue here is the insignia on their uniforms, a specific wolf's head design. Their origin is left as a mystery for the DM to potentially develop. Who were they? Why were they here?
This room also has a unique wandering monster encounter, right? The thieves.
Candela and Duchess, yeah.
Yep.
Triggered on the last possible check. They pretend to be scared, inexperienced fighters who saw strange 3-headed monsters, the Ubus. They want to join the party.
But they're actually competent thieves with decent gear, including poison daggers and a valuable necklace. The module says you can run them as NPCs or a regular fight. Nice bit of social encounter potential.
EL9 is one of those hexagonal rooms. This one's a bath area. Smelly towels, broken soap, marble floors, and bench.
The key find here, hidden under a towel, is a gold-colored key on a silver chain. Minor value, but it's the key needed for a secret door in EL12.
Next door, EL10, another hexagonal room. This one with a large pool of clear water, murals of nymphs, more towels, bath oil vials, a rotten fan.
And what looks like a rather large diamond embedded in the center of the pool floor.
That's the Eye of the Dagger. AC9, 2 HD, paralyzing attack. It's an amoeba monster disguised as the pool itself.
It can only attack if you step in the pool.
Right. And if it paralyzes you, you fall in and drown. Stay in its liquid form for 48 turns and you dissolve completely. The vials are minor treasure, the fan is junk. A really unique ambush predator.
EL11, the pedestal room. Small pink marble pedestal, silver object on top.
Get close, and the silver pendant glows and laughs hysterically. Anyone nearby has to save versus death ray or laugh uncontrollably for 3 rounds.
Taking the pendant stops the laughing, but drains strength and constitution temporarily. Only affects 3 people at once, no sale value, just a weird magical obstacle.
Which leads into EL12, the mosaic room. Hexagonal again, covered in mosaics. Red dragon, silver warrior, maiden, elves, blue pool scene. There's a glowing keyhole on the floor.
Try a normal key and bam! Falling stone, slab trap, 212 damage, save for half basically.
But use the golden key from EL9 in the floor keyhole. And another keyhole appears on the wall.
Use the golden key in that lock.
The wall and keys vanish, revealing a glowing silver sword hanging in the air. A +1 weapon.
But when you touch it, illusion time. The silver warrior from the mosaic appears, takes the sword, attacks you.
The hits feel real, but do no actual damage. He disappears after 4 rounds. It's a test. If you're killed, you just wake up.
After the illusion fades, the sword drops. It still glows, feels good to touch. Cool multi-stage puzzle leading to a magic item.
EL14 is a worship alcove. Statue of woman and child, inscription. The secret treasure of one's heart can be found in love. Opening below it.
And this is where those gold octagons from the barracks come in. Put one in the opening.
Secret compartment opens. Inside, a scroll case with a fragment of verse in silver ink. I came, and what did my eyes behold? A maiden fair with hair of gold.
Cryptic. Part of a larger puzzle or prophecy connecting back to the legend. Encourages collecting clues.
Last stop on the entrance level for us. EL15, the glitter trap alcove. Semicircular room, statue of a young girl. Seems innocent.
But there's a secret door, and opening it triggers a trap, or stepping on a pressure plate.
Yep. Golden glitter pours down. 200 copper nobles worth. Sticks to you. Only removable with oil or fat.
And the worst part, It glows in the dark, giving you a +3 penalty to surprise opponents. So annoying. A classic non-lethal but memorable B3 trap.
All right, let's head upstairs. Notable encounters on the upper level. UL.
UL1 is a watchtower. Standard stuff. Windows, trapdoor down to an undescribed area, EL38, robe ladder, broken gear.
The interesting bit is an illusion behind one door. Open it, hear fighting sounds, then see 3 swords battling on their own. Purely visual and auditory, meant to scare intruders, can't be dispelled by touch.
UL2, the laboratory. Messy remnants of experiments, papers, beakers, broken furniture, hints of past magic use.
Guarded by a beautiful life-size green crystal statue of a male warrior. It's a living statue monster, AC4 3HD. And those scraps of paper, they contain first-level magic user spells the party can learn. Useful find.
UL4 is a bedchamber. Single bed, desk, broom, slippers. Seems basic.
But hiding under the bed, a small black cat.
Which isn't just a cat.
Nope. Enchanted Great Cat, AC4 2HD, can turn into a panther every other hour for 10 rounds. Surprise! Treasure is sewn to the mattress. 50 gold. 3 movies worth 70 gold each.
UL6 sounds important. Lady Argenta's room. Ornate canopy bed, red velvet, peaceful scenes on erases, chests with silver-veined mirrors, makeup palette.
The module says it's untouched since she left. Furniture's rotten, drawers empty. But that gold-enameled makeup palette is worth a cool 1,000 gold pieces. And the windows look out into that overgrown garden area.
Next door, UL7, the fireplace room. Chairs, tables, rug, knitting baskets, and a portrait of Lady Argenta holding my lady's heart. Notably shown as apple-sized here, reinforcing the Legends version.
The only valuable thing is the teacup. It's a magical singing teacup. Lift it off the saucer, and it sings one of 100 random songs. Pure B3 whimsy.
UL10 is a fancy bathing room, painted walls, mirrored ceiling and floor, ornate marble silver tub.
This area is Ubu territory. Noise here attracts one from UL11, AC7 3HD. Might call for backup or retreat depending on the party size.
And the tray by the tub is magical, with colored stones.
Yeah, red for hot water, yellow for cold, blue removes it, fills the tub quickly. Neat environmental magic.
UL13 takes us outside to the overgrown garden. Weeds, lost paths, statue, sound of water.
And plant monsters. A Jupiter bloodsucker wrapped around the statue, AC5 3HD, drains blood, smothers you, fears fire. And 8 archer bushes scattered around, AC9 1HD, shooting nuisance thorns that cause infection. Negative hue to hit if not armored.
But there's something good here too, right? The fountain.
Hidden near the corner, yeah. A hidden fountain with healing powers. Cures each person once, fully restores hit points. Gotta drink directly from it though. Can't bottle it. Huge boon for a low-level party.
UL16 is another bedchamber. This one feels eerie. Thick dust and cobwebs everywhere, slowing movement.
Stay too long, more than 2 turns. And a haunting happens. An image of an elf without feet or hands floats over the bed, smalls cruelly, moves towards you, doesn't touch, disappears. Then laughter echoes and the door slams shut and locks. Needs 30 strength to open. Sounds like a poltergeist encounter. Purely psychological scare and trap.
And then UL17, the ruby room. Pedestal, glass case, small brown box with runes.
This is it, supposedly. But touch that glass case.
And Lady Argenta and her knight appear. For real this time.
Not illusions, ghosts. AC1, fighter 5 equivalent hit points, 30 each. They attack with an aging effect. They're here to protect the ruby.
And the ruby itself inside the box. It's not apple size.
Nope. The module specifically corrects the legend portrait. It's only 1 inch in diameter, still worth a massive 10,000 gold pieces. Great encounter confronting the legends directly.
UL18 and 19 are the Ubu lair. 18 has 7 male Ubis, cushions, chests, cooking pot. Their chief confronts you, might fight, might retreat to 19 to protect the others. Treasure includes gold, silver, and a cool music box with dancing bears worth 750 GMP.
UL19 has 3 females and 4 children. Their reaction depends on how you enter. If the males retreat there, the females try to flee downstairs, barricading the door. If you come from the hall, a guard raises the alarm, females flee, males attack from UL18. They have survival instincts. Treasure here is minor, plus 3 healing potions.
UL22 is the Decapus illusion room. Enter and see a horrible illusion. Beautiful woman hanging, 9 ugly men poking her with swords.
All fake.
Yeah.
Generated by the Decapus, AC5 3HD, a tentacled monster using ventriloquism and illusions to lure prey. That helpless woman is its favorite trick. It has 9 attacking tentacles.
Pretty helpless if you pull it onto the floor, though.
Yeah, its main strength is the ambush and illusion. Treasure is hidden in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Silver, rubies, a silver-tipped arrow. Another very unique B3 monster.
The last one for us upstairs. UL28, the cleric's room. Holy symbols, mace, windows. Seems quiet.
until after one round, a secret door opens, and Catherandum, the cleric, AC2C3, steps out and challenges the party.
And his reaction depends entirely on how the party responds. Friendly, asks for donations, maybe sells some Antirian brandy, or attacks.
Right, if he attacks, he uses spells, cause fear, darkness, and is joined by two dwarves, Liza and Moron, AC2F3, and a female, Baralea, AC28, 6HD, in human form initially.
And they try to capture, not kill. Intercept.
Very. And Ale has that special sword, the Sword of Spartuzia. Ruby-bladed, +2 for her, +1 for others. But it's cursed.
Cursed how?
Believed to be searching for a true female descendant. Brings disaster to anyone else who owns it. And you cannot sell it, it just comes back. And you lose the money. Ties into this whole tragic history, maybe connects to the red dragon worshippers mentioned in its lore.
Wow. And their secret room has a good stash of gold, silver, and gems. This group adds a whole other faction and mystery layer.
Definitely. Okay, let's briefly look at that new monster section appendix. B3 really shines with its unique creatures.
We've hit most of them. Archer bushes and the Jupiter bloodsucker from the garden nuisance thorns versus deadly blood drainer.
The barrack, that six-legged duck-billed rat thing. Scavenger, sometimes hunter.
Bubbles, sentient air pockets from potion mishaps, paralyzing and drowning victims in water.
The decapus tentacled illusionist, loving its helpless woman disguise.
The Diger, that pool-disguised amoeba, dissolving victims. So weird.
Ghosts Argenta and her knight, attacking with aging, tied to the lore.
Giant marble snake, charming whistle, non-poisonous bite. Looks striking.
Giant marmosets, fierce monkeys, can be trained as guards or halfling mounts.
Poltergeist, mischievous spirit, attacks with objects, can't be fought normally, like in UL-16.
Protectors, those translucent green guardians of lawful creatures on the guard power level, telepathic, judgmental.
Purple moss sleep gas, devours victims, fears fire. Classic B3 trap monster.
And the Ubas, the three-headed, three-armed, three-legged humanoids, with their internal arguments and strange society. Probably B3's signature monster.
The magic items are pretty sparse, but specific too.
Yeah, the Wand of Light's simple utility, Antirian brandy, the addictive dwarven brew, a magical vice, and the Sword of Spartuzia, that cursed descendant-seeking blade.
Beyond those, lots of unique items that aren't quite standard magic items. The gold octagons for the secret compartment, the golden key for the mosaic room, the silver wolf head ring, that wand of secret door detection hints secret doors are key, jailer's keys, that ring with the initials AES, another dangling mystery.
The makeup palette is just valuable loot. The singing teacup is pure flavor. The magic water tray is environmental. The healing fountain is a resource. The music box is fun treasure. The silver-tipped arrow is loot. Those red crystal eggs that paralyze if broken are another hazard.
Plus, the message beads needing decoding, Travis the crazed old man. So many little details.
So thinking about B3's design philosophy, how does it compare to, say, modern adventure design like in 5e, just based on what B3 tells us about itself?
Well, the big thing is that focus on teaching the DM. It explains basics that modern modules often assume you know.
Right, and leaving areas blank for the DM to stock is a huge difference from many modern, highly detailed, pre-filled adventures. B3 is more of a canvas, less of a paint-by-numbers kit.
The mechanics feel more straightforward, too. Direct saves, clear percentages for things like drowning, simple wandering monster checks. Less complex than, say, 5e's skill systems and layered advantages.
And including the new monster stats and item descriptions in the module itself, rather than just saying, see Monster Manual page X, feels very self-contained, geared towards someone who might only have the basic rulebook and this module.
Definitely. But even with that simplicity, it's absolutely packed with hooks for expansion, like it promised.
Oh yeah, the whole surrounding region, Lady Demise, the towns, the misty swamp, the mountains, it's a mini sandbox waiting to be explored.
Plus all the unresolved plots, Argenta's fate, the Silver Warrior's identity, is it the Tinker? The missing dwarf and elf, the origin of the beheaded soldiers, what Travis is up to, the meaning of the verse and initials.
And the NPCs. The Tinker, Candela, and Duchess, Cathrandamus's whole crew. They could become major players in a longer campaign. Decoding those message beads could lead anywhere.
And that empty guard tower level, guarded by protectors, just waiting for the DM to add more content later.
It really is impressive how much mystery and potential they packed into this introductory module.
The enchanted voices, the weird creatures like Bubbles and Digers, the wild magic swamp, the ghosts, the cursed sword. It all sparks curiosity.
It gives you enough structure to run it, but leaves so much open for the DM to make it their own. That feels very true to the spirit of early D&D, empowering the Dungeon Master.
So, wrapping up our deep dive into the Palace of the Silver Princess, What's the big picture?
It's a landmark module, really. A gateway for countless people into D&D Basic. It mixes classic fantasy tropes with some genuinely unique, sometimes bizarre elements.
And it was designed as much to teach DMs how to run the game as it was to be an adventure scenario itself, offering that flexible framework.
Exactly. In those blank rooms, those mysteries, those NPCs, it gave new DMs the tools and the encouragement to start building their own worlds, using B3 as the launching pad.
It really respected the DM's role in the game.
If you're curious to see it for yourself, remember you can find a download link for the PDF file right there in the video description.
We'd love to hear what stood out to you from this deep dive. Did you play B3 back in the day? Does hearing about its weirdness give you ideas for your current games? What were your favorite bits?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Share your thoughts, memories, questions. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button.
Subscribe to the channel for more explorations like this one, share it with your tabletop friends who might appreciate a look at a classic, and definitely ring that bell icon so you get notified about future deep dives.
As you do.
And finally, as you think about Princess Argenta, the ghosts, the cursed sword, the actual ruby versus the legend, consider this. Given all the personal tragedy and lingering spirits tied to the palace, was its ruin just a simple story of conquest by some outside force?
Or was there something far more tragic? Something much more personal, unfolding at the very heart of the Silver Princess's story all along.
Something to think about.
Definitely.
Join us next time for another deep dive.